As Vergil Ortiz is about to step back into the ring on November 8th, I decided to look back at the last time he was in the ring. That was over in Riyadh back in February against a very tough Israil Madrimov. A fight that I thought was a little more wider than it actually was on the scorecards when I rewatched the fight. I decided to rewatch Ortiz versus Madrimov to see exactly how this fight played out, because when I remembered it, I always thought Ortiz won it running away, but there were good moments from both fighters, things that impressed me about Vergil Ortiz, and some things that I looked at Vergil and said, he'll have to clean that up against an Erickson Lubin, against a Jaron Boots Ennis. So let's talk about it, but before we do, make sure to enter the giveaway. I've partnered with Dickey's Arena to give away 2 free tickets to Vergil versus Erickson Lubin. Email neverdroppodcast@gmail.com or comment on the Never Dropped Podcast pinned Instagram post your prediction to the fight. All you got to do, and there you go. You got 2 entries to get free tickets. Okay, back to the rewatch. Ortiz versus Madrimov. In this fight, originally, I believe I had it 9-3 in favor of Ortiz. I could see where I got that conclusion, but I think it's more of an 8-4 fight. I can see 7-5, but that's me being nice to Madrimov in a swing round like a round 10. For Madrimov, he had good moments. The pressure from Ortiz obviously wore him down the entire night of the fight. That's something I want to talk about. First, let's talk about the pressure from Vergil Ortiz. The entire fight, he was coming forward. He was in your face, the stalker against Israil Madrimov. Madrimov was moving around, but Ortiz was stalking him the entire night. And one thing that Robert Garcia in his corner said when they went to the corner in between rounds, he said, smart pressure. It's not pressure just to pressure, it's smart pressure. And that was great advice because there is a difference, and you could see in the rounds. The rounds that Madrimov would win, Vergil would come forward, and sometimes he wouldn't throw. He'd have the high guard up, he wouldn't let his hands loose, and he just wouldn't throw, while Madrimov would obviously throw, and some weren't connecting. Some were, hitting the gloves, hitting the front end of the glove, but some were. Right? That was just pressure just to pressure. The smart pressure was, okay, if I'm Vergil, I'm going to use the jab. I'm going to go to the body. Both incredible punches. I thought the jab for Vergil was fast, quick, and it had enough power on it to gain the respect of Madrimov. That was something that, okay, you're Madrimov, you're moving around the ring. Okay, you get popped with a jab. Takes a quick second, right? The jab was very effective for Vergil, and the body punching. I mean, I don't want to look past Erickson Lubin, but just looking at the mega fight that is Boots versus Vergil versus Boots, however you want to say it, it's 50-50. Both are good body punchers. And that's going to be how you slow down each other. That's how you're going to slow down Erickson Lubin. The body punching from Vergil Ortiz. He came into that fight against Madrimov clearly with a game plan of I'm going to the body. And boy, oh boy, I mean, you could hear the body punches. And he invested in the body early. And that's why many people had Madrimov winning the first few rounds, is because Vergil was going to the body. He wasn't going with the headshots. He wasn't throwing combinations. And that's something, credit to Madrimov as well. He wasn't allowing Vergil to throw combinations. Vergil was going to the body, and Madrimov was moving. As the fight continued, Madrimov wore down. He slowed down. And the body shots, Madrimov looked like he was huffing and puffing every time he took a step to the right, to the left. Vergil, on the other hand, the guy that's, stalking him the entire time, chasing him around, Vergil looked incredibly conditioned, and that's a credit to him and his team. But I thought the body punching, I thought it was A+. I thought the jab was phenomenal. And then when Vergil gets into combinations, man, that's something for the opponents. That's something for an Erickson Lubin, a Jaron Boots Ennis. Make Vergil be a boxer, not a brawler. Because when Vergil, at the start of the fight, was just throwing one punch, he was reluctant to throw the right hand. Through the first 4 rounds, it was, when is Vergil going to get going? Like, there weren't bad Vergil rounds, but he, one, wasn't winning all of them. And 2, it was like, this isn't the Vergil we know. Vergil wasn't throwing the right hand. Then, as the fight progressed and wore on, Vergil let the right hand go, and he'd hit Madrimov with some nice combinations. There's combinations in round 6 and round 9, and I think even around 12. Those are the ones that just come off the top of my head at the moment. The combinations and power punches Vergil landed were phenomenal. Those were incredible, because he was letting his hands go. He was comfortable. He was in the groove. He was in the moment. He was in rhythm right there. And that's the biggest thing. If you get Vergil out of rhythm, I'm not saying it turns him into a whole nother fighter, but it takes away some of his strengths. He wants to get in there and punch. Like, his power is evident. Yes, he didn't knock down or knock out Madrimov. The power was evident. The power was able to keep Madrimov enough at bay, who Madrimov himself has enough power. And that's something that scares me a little with Vergil. Defense. The defense isn't bad enough and the chin isn't bad enough for Vergil that I go into a fight worrying about it. There were times where Vergil would get hit with big shots. And of course it's boxing. Everyone gets hit with big shots, but these were good, clean, big shots on the side of the face, on the temple for Vergil. And yes, he ate them. But man, you always wonder, if there's a certain fighter, what happens if he lands those punches? What if Erickson Lubin lands those punches? Jaron Boots Ennis lands those punches. In particular, there was some overhand rights from Madrimov. There was, I believe it was one punch. He feinted like he was going to go to the body, then brought it up to the head. Vergil dropped his hands, and he caught him. There's points where you can catch Vergil dropping the hands. And that fight, Vergil didn't seem wobbled, affected, nothing by any of the punches. But you also have to have that Boachuk fight in the back of your head. Vergil goes down 2 times, both flash knockdowns, right? But they're knockdowns in a big fight. That could matter. This is a fight that 2 judges had it 115, 113. For Vergil, those things matter. Obviously, these aren't things I'm going into each fight worried about with Vergil Ortiz. I'm not worried about his chin. It's in the back of my head, but it's not, oh man, he can't get hit with a big shot or he's down. No. He's shown enough, especially in that Madrimov fight, when he did get hit with those big shots. Hey, okay, he was able to go through it and keep pushing. And that's why you love Vergil Ortiz, because he's putting himself in the line of fire. He's in the line of fire for those shots. Some guys, you have gripes in boxing. They want to box all around, run around. They don't want to be in the line of fire to exchange. Vergil, that's not the case. He's right there, and he's ready to mix it up with anybody. But I thought it was an interesting fight. Again, I can see, I think 8-4 is how I rescored it. I can see 7-5. I could also see 9-3. It depends on some of the swing rounds. But you turn Vergil into a boxer, just throwing one punch at a time, not throwing combinations. That's going to be your best chance, because he's going to be in front of you. He's going to he's going to have the pressure. That's no doubt about it. Vergil's going to be right there following you. You go left, he goes right, or his right, your left, whatever. Right? He's following you the entire time. Boy, I'm telling you, if you can turn him into one shot, maybe one right, and then out, like a boxer, only having to punch at one time, right? Not combos. Because combos is when he gets you on the rope and he's teeing off. That's when it's trouble. And it's an interesting case, because is Erickson Lubin, is Boots Ennis going to let Vergil Ortiz walk him down the entire night? I don't think so. Madrimov, he was able to move, right? He was moving back and forth. So Vergil was following him. But these guys, an Erickson Lubin, a Boots Ennis, like, they believe they're strong enough and say, why does this guy think he can back me down? So, Vergil's on his front foot a lot in this fight. In his next fights, is he going to be on the front foot? Is he going to be at the back foot? Is he going to be in the middle of the ring? That's the most interesting part. Because while Madrimov, at points, had success, overall, when you get past the 4th round, this is a Vergil Ortiz fight. Round 6 and 9, some of the best work you'll see from Vergil Ortiz. Round 6, outlanded him 20-5. I don't have the exact numbers in round 9, but landed power punches. There you go. The jab, the body work for Vergil. That's why he's one of the top 154-pounders in the world. Even though he doesn't have a belt, the fact he goes to the body so well. He invests in the body early. He was fine. Okay, I take the power of Madrimov these first few rounds. I'm going to the body. I'm wearing him down. He's already going to be tired from running. Let me go to the body. And then the jab. I'm telling you, if he can land the jab, Vergil's always going to be in a good position. Because the jab is quick. The jab is powerful. There's a few jabs. I was like, oh, jeez. And the first few rounds, honestly, the jab was like, okay, maybe Vergil has a chance in this round. Right? He wasn't doing much. He wasn't throwing 1-2s. He wasn't throwing combos. He wasn't throwing the right hand. But the jab was fast enough, powerful enough that I was like, that's a really good punch from Vergil. Even though Madrimov is doing the majority of the work here. Overall, I think it was a very good fight. Very good performance from Vergil Ortiz. I think originally I thought it was a masterclass, right? No, Madrimov had his moments. And all fighters are. Like, this wasn't a blowout, going away victory for Vergil Ortiz. But this was a comfortable, in control victory for Vergil against a top guy in the division. Madrimov, of course, had come off losing to Terrence Crawford, a fight that was incredible. Knocked a dude out in 2 rounds in December in his comeback fight, and then was in the ring to fight Vergil. Like, a legit guy Vergil goes toe-to-toe with. It really just shows, okay, yeah, I'm a different class. I am the better fighter by far in this fight. And this is what we're getting accustomed to seeing with Vergil. The jab, the speed, the body punching, and then, of course, we know the power. We know the power of Vergil Ortiz. We didn't see a knockdown or knockout, but, boy, the power slowed down Madrimov, and at points it was like, he could go. He's able to stay in long enough. Good fight from Vergil, especially the last 8. I mentioned this, first 4. Yeah, okay, feeling him out. Last 8, Vergil. That's the Vergil we know. And we've come accustomed to seeing. I'm so excited for this next fight against Erickson Lubin. Lubin, a big power puncher. I mean, I talked about that chin, about that defense. Lubin's one of those guys that can test that chin and the defense for Vergil. So he's going to have to be on his A game in that regard. But Vergil, man, he just continues, feels like fight after fight, to get better and better and work himself towards that mega fight in 2026. Hey, but before that mega fight, of course, he has that November 8th matchup against Erickson Lubin. To be there, you can be there for free. Partner with Dickey's Arena, as I mentioned at the top. Feel free to email your prediction to neverdroppodcast@gmail.com, or you can do both. Comment on the Never Drop Podcast Instagram pinned post your prediction to the fight, and that's it. You do both. That's 2 entry for 2 free tickets. Hey, man, can't get much simpler than that. Tell me who you think's going to win. Vergil versus Erickson Lubin. All you got to do. This has been the Never Drop Podcast. That's all I got for you today. Peace. I'm out.